If you do not want to outsource your recruitment needs to a recruitment agency, well, listen up, this one's for you. We're talking about how to create your direct sourcing model. Keeping all of your recruitment internal is a fantastic way to save money, and it's really nice to gain complete control over the recruitment process as well. But look, it's vital to make sure you have your workflow correctly set up. Before you even consider advertising your vacancy, you've really got to start thinking, how are we going to store all of the data that we have coming through to us? And it's really, really important to realize you're going to be very data heavy, so you must store all of this data. Speak to the guys at Team Taylor if you want to combine your careers website and your ATS and integrate them together, or the equally excellent Job Adder if you want a really easy, user-friendly ATS. From experience, both of these are excellent. When you have your ATS installed and everything's centralized, it's time to start sourcing those candidates. Recruiters will use these following routes to source: advertising and using all of the advertising boards, LinkedIn Recruiter, actual headhunting, so not sending a soft message, but literally getting on the phone and trying to headhunt somebody out of your competitors, networking events, graduate fairs, and referrals. All very common knowledge and incredibly easy to procure in today's world. Yes, you're going to need a few grand for the advertising and a few more grand for the LinkedIn Recruiter licenses. And also, as a bit of an aside, a couple of days where you can actually build the lists of the people that you want to speak to. And a couple of grand for the networking, and probably a few grand more for graduate fairs. And don't forget the guts to be able to call up a complete stranger and tell them that you're a better company than the one that they're already at, even though they already love the company that they're already at. But the main point is, it's very, very simple to get all of this knowledge and procure all of these different tools in today's world. Kicker is, this isn't actually sourcing. This is just the name gathering stage of the sourcing, and the magic happens from here. So the name gathering's done, and now we're at the sourcing stage, and the first thing we're going to do is ask that very simple question: can they do the job? Cue guess who? And we're going to eliminate a couple of the candidates because they're not suitable in that element. The ones that come back as yes, they can do the job, add them to your CRM. You're going to save yourself a heck of a lot of money in the future and make things easier today as well. Now, this is the talent pool that we're actually going to start sourcing from, and hopefully you're going to be off to a few early winners. Hopefully there's a few there that you want to be able to invite into interview. But even with this relevant group, you need to realize there's a plethora of reasons that they might not be suitable for the role that you're recruiting for. Now, you're not just looking for job suitability, you're also going to be looking at personal reasons why this applicant might be suitable. A few examples: are they actively looking, or are they passively looking? Are they interested in a move? Are they actually interested in your role? Maybe a hit to the ego, but just because you're interested in them, they might not be interested in you. Do they live in the right geographic location? Are they able to tune in remotely? Do they want to relocate if you need them in the office? Have they actually considered what a change in circumstance is going to mean to them personally? Like, do they have a dependence, for example? And really importantly, do they fit the values, the ethics, the visions of the business? All of these questions are actually a part of the sourcing stage, and it's called the pre-screen, and it's going to start to determine if this applicant is suitable for you. But it's also going to introduce loads of different variables on why somebody that you might like the look of might not be suitable for you. Let's use the example of Ian. Now, Ian we found through LinkedIn, and Ian's told us he's very interested in the role that we're recruiting for. So we speak to him, and on the phone he tells us that he lives in a different part of the country than we thought he did. Now, we do need them in the office, but the great news is Ian said he's happy to travel and commute to work. Now, as we have the conversation with Ian, he's actually told us that he's got a young family, and the commute's going to be about 4 hours there and 4 hours back. Maybe I'm exaggerating slightly. And as a result of that, an extra 8 hours are added to his 10-hour day, and it is totally unreasonable to ask somebody to do that. So unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Ian. Or what about Joan? Joan is great. Joan's applied to the advert. She's incredibly interested in our role. She wants to work for our business. She's got all of the right accreditations. She ticks literally every single box. So we're excited and we speak to Joan. Now, Joan has an interview process that's going on with one of our competitors, and they found Joan about 3 or 4 weeks beforehand. So now she's in a position where she's going to get an offer from our competitor and she can't really hold on for the 4, 5, 6 weeks it might take us to go through our interview process. So even though Joan is excellent and ticks every single box, Joan cannot be a part of that talent pool. So we have to cross her off the list too. So what am I banging on about? Well, theoretically, these candidates are perfect for your job, and you could suggest that they've been a part of the sourcing system. However, sourcing isn't just about actually name gathering, it's working out suitability and viability for that candidate as well. So it's the pre-screen stage in the sourcing that's actually going to take up a heck of a lot of time. And if we start to think about how much we value our time at, and then you add on the costs that we mentioned earlier, we're starting to think how expensive direct sourcing can actually be. Now let's take it a little bit further. The next thing to consider is the management of your database, because now the people on your database are suitable for the role, even though they might not be suitable at that point that you asked them. So it's time dependent. Also, applicants will evolve and become much better over time. I'm sure you've met a junior applicant that you think in 2 years' time, they're going to be absolutely on the money for the role that we're recruiting for today. So all of these people must be monitored, they must be re-evaluated, and they must have constant communication with the company. This will really allow us to have a talent pool that is suitable for the company. If we do this correctly, we can actually plug them into recruitment marketing so they have a better understanding of potential opportunities that might arise in our business. Now, it's actually incredibly easy to indirectly speak to these people. You could have Active Campaign on your side that will create these really nice automated campaigns, or MailChimp, so they get all of the different newsletters. Indirectly speaking to them is actually incredibly easy. And we really hope that they're going to get in touch with us in the future when that role arises. But it's much more effective to actually directly communicate with all of these people. You're starting to build really nice relationships if you directly communicate with a person that wasn't right 2 years ago that could be right in the next 2 years. However, this is incredibly timely and again will cost money. Now, if we take that database management and we add those types of candidates to the shortlist we had created before, the early winners, where we had a couple of good people from there, we might actually have 4 or 5 people on our shortlist at this point. But 4 or 5 people just isn't enough. There are millions of reasons why they might say no in this process. So it's time to eat, sleep, and repeat, because you're going to need to do that over and over again to get a suitable talent pool for this role that you're recruiting for today. And let's hope there's not a change in requirement, because you're going to have to start again and go through that process over and over again. And look, that's it. That's how you create a simple sourcing model for your business. But it's probably now allowed you to realize how much time and effort goes into surfacing this in the right manner. And hopefully it's going to give you a little bit more admiration for the recruiters in your life.
Thanks for tuning into Friday Focus. There's a new episode every week, so if you want to catch the next one, be sure to follow us on social media. See you next Friday.